All right, let's talk about armor. Armor is a big deal to us overlanders. We love to put armor, front bumpers, skid plates, rear bumpers on our vehicles. It's really fun, and it makes our trucks more functional in a lot of ways. But we have to understand why we're doing it. There's a pretty big trade-off usually with armor, and that is weight. Weight counts against us, it counts against our performance, and it can even degrade the vehicle's reliability due to how heavy they become. Through my experience putting armor on a vehicle, I've done it for several reasons. One is I want to increase the functionality of the vehicle, and I want more protection, especially on the front end. So how do you go about putting armor on your vehicle? Well, the best thing to do is to prioritize it for your function and your needs. The first thing that I will do on any of our trucks is typically focus on the front bumper. So here we are, let's talk about front bumper, front protection. When we look at putting front bumper on, what we're doing is we're taking away the simplistic protection of an auto manufacturer's bumper. Usually it's pretty light and chintzy, and we're adding a whole lot of strength and a whole lot of function to the front end. The compromise is weight, obviously. This is a steel bumper. If we could get it in aluminum, it would probably be about 30% lighter at least. But yeah, we need it for certain things. On the protection front, it has a bar that goes over the top that will help keep the radiator protected, especially in the event of an animal strike. The whole idea behind the protection side is that wherever you are out in the world, if something bad happens, you're still able to drive the vehicle home. Beyond that, it gives us some functions that are really nice, like higher clearance in the front end. This gives us a better approach angle, allows us to come up to things that are steeper and overcome them with our tires. It also gives us the ability to mount a winch. There's proper mounting locations and strength built into the front bumper and how it's mounted to the frame to accommodate the pulling power of a winch. Very important that you have the proper mounting points for a winch to be safe. Beyond that, it also provides places for us to mount auxiliary lighting, which is also another safety factor as we go down the road in these remote places. We can see better. Seeing is safety. So that's important. And that's typically what we do, and I have done over the years, is put a front bumper on, gain strength, gain protection, get better clearance, be able to mount a winch inside for security, and more security driving down the road at night with the lights. Another really important thing that comes with front bumpers, at least a good front bumper, is a built-in properly rated and strong recovery point. All right, so that's front protection. And the next thing that we commonly do is rear protection. Let's take a look at that. It is very common that the next armor upgrade is a rear bumper. A rear bumper removes some of the lightweight duty rear bumper of a factory car and reinforces it with steel. It's really nice to have when you're out doing heavy trails. If you're not doing heavy trails and stuff like that, it may not be the consideration that you need, but long distance travel, being able to protect the rear end of your vehicle is pretty important. As I look back over the years, we've backed into quite a bit of stuff. And I don't think I would ever trade not having a rear bumper if I had the option, especially on a long distance trip. So when you get in a rear bumper, you get a lot of the same things that you get in a front bumper. You get protection, higher clearance for better departure angles, and on top of that, you can increase some of the function. This bumper, for example, is set up to accommodate swing outs. So you mount those on the pins there, and that allows you to move your bigger, perhaps your bigger spare tire out from underneath the vehicle and put it on the back of the vehicle. If you're swamped in the mud, get it flat, your tire is not underneath the vehicle, it's on the back. A lot of times as we've gone to bigger tires, those spare tire locations won't accommodate that bigger tire either, so you have to move it somewhere else, and we put it on the back of the vehicle. On the other side, you could run a secondary spare, or you could run other accessories that allow you to carry water, or a pull pal, other recovery devices, etc. A table that folds down. There's all kinds of things that you can build into this, and it can really increase your functionality in camp. Obviously, just like the front, going to a steel rear bumper or a reinforced off-road bumper, you're going to get better recovery points too. And a vehicle is commonly recovered from behind just as much as it is from the front. So make sure that you have good recovery points in whatever you purchase. So after we've added a front bumper and a rear bumper, I would say that the next priority is your choice. I would either go slider or skid plates. Depending on the function and your type of travel, one or the other may be more important. But for right now, let's talk about sliders. So sliders, they replace your factory running board, your side steps, with something significantly stronger. Some of them weld on straight to the frame. You may need a shop to do that. Others have bolt-on options, depending on your platform and the availability on the aftermarket sector. So this one here is a CBI steel slider. It does require you to weld it. It's actually for this 96 4Runner back here. The benefits that we get out of this are much stronger side protection. We could literally rock the truck onto something heavy, rest the weight of the vehicle on it, slide off of it, hence sliders, and protect the vehicle from damage. In addition to that, it can, when it does, give you a really good step up to the roof rack. In my experience, that is how you use a slider 90% of the time. 95% of the time, you're using it as a good step to get up to the stuff on your roof rack. And then every now and then you're going to hit it and you're going to be glad you had it. If rock crawling and ultimate protection is not what you need, just due to the lifestyle and the way that you're going to be traveling, you may look, and I would highly recommend you do look at aluminum steps. Anything on our expeditions, if I can put aluminum side steps or sliders on our trucks, I do. It's a lot of weight to be moving around when you don't really need that level of protection all the time. If you're going to be pushing your truck hard down the trails, maybe it's worth it. If you're touring, doing long distance stuff, look at aluminum. So let's just say that you are actually rock crawling pretty hard and you're going to be going down some pretty aggressive stuff. Well, you may decide that sliders aren't necessarily your first priority. You may want to make it skid plates. Okay, let's talk about skid plates. Skid plates can offer you a lot of peace of mind. The trade-off, again, is weight. When we did our Alaska trip, we did not have skid plates. We ran factory skid plates, did it just fine. When we did our Central America expedition, we did not have skid plates, ran it just fine. They were tortured and bent and broke by the time we got back, but we ran it on the factory skid plates. By the time we did a South America expedition, we did run skid plates, and it did provide a lot of peace of mind. It was our biggest, longest run expedition that we had done to date, and all of the trucks came back 100%. The skid plates were used and abused, but all the truck and the componentry underneath was just fine. So the trade-off is weight. Factory skid plates are light duty. They provide light duty protection, but they're light. If you need heavy rock crawling protection, you're sliding over stuff, you're hitting things, you're doing things at higher speeds perhaps, steel is probably the way to go. If you're doing touring and you want that added protection, look at aluminum. It's that fine balance between protection and the weight savings, especially on a tour vehicle. Now, if I was to prioritize skid plates, the front is obviously the priority. You can work your way back to the transfer case and transmission skid plates, and even as far as fuel skid plates. It's just up to you on how far you want to go and what level of protection you need. Just remember, it's just weight. All right, so that's armor. We prioritized front bumper first, rear bumper second, and then it's your choice between sliders or skid plates, and it's also your choice between steel and aluminum, depending on your travel needs. It's got a rear bumper, no sliders, no skid plates. This guy's not very well protected.